Hello, I'm Josie Lardy. I'm from Jilkminggan community, which is on Mangarrayi land, and also the same name for language, Mangarrayi. I grew up speaking English in Darwin till I was about 8 or 9, which then we moved down to Jilkminggan or Duck Creek when I was 9, and that's where my family taught me more full-on Kriol mixed up with Mangarrayi words here and there. Most of my primary years being there at Jilkminggan school, there's always been language work off and on here and there. Having linguist mob come in and bring the elders in, doing lessons like that, but it always depended on funding, so it was always a off and on sort of thing, which was a shame. So pretty much, sad to say, my Mangarrayi skills are pretty much as same as way back when, like in high school, because it's always been so off and on. So I grew up speaking English and Creole at home, but I was more encouraged by my dad, which is German, to speak more English at home, and also by my mum, which is one of the stolen generation. She was one of the ones that were taken away. Just because, you know, if you want to get work or whatever, at that time there wasn't much work, still isn't much work on the community. So I had to, you know, that was a home sort of a push, would you say, to learn English. So in a way, English sort of was my first language all the way through, but one of my older sisters did say that Creole was actually my first language, because when she'd call up to have a yarn with us, I'd always be talking in Creole to her and she'd be like, what? And have to get mum to sort of translate what I was going on about. So anyway, Creole was my first language. I end up seeing my niece and nephew because they grew up with Creole and English, but they were like little translators in the classroom between the teachers and the kids, their cousins and everything. So, you know, if the teacher was having trouble, then they would go into Creole and going, this is what the teacher wants you to do. And then if someone asked the teacher something and the teacher was taking it the wrong way, then they'd go, no, this is what they're meaning, this is what they're asking. So that was real deadly. That was cool to see them doing that. So because of my interest, I suppose, just being like my niece and nephew, I was talking about being in a translator between teachers and students, I sort of just naturally went to that kind of work once I finished year 12 here in Catherine, because the language centre was running at that time and there was a position available. And yeah, so I just started doing that work, working as a linguist assistant, going down to Jilkminggan and working there, and then later on becoming an interpreter here in town at different places that needed interpreters. But yeah, as soon as there was another Mangarrayi lesson, you know, funding that came up, I usually went as a linguist assistant. So at home now, it's more English. Mostly every day is English because I'm living in town now, and because of work, they're all English speakers. They're all mainly situated down Sydney. But when I go onto communities for work, I just go into whatever the mob are talking, which is Creole. Sometimes they like to do a little bit of English and Creole mix. So then I just pretty much do whatever they're talking.
Yeah,
I try and match up with them.
Mm.
Well, got a really supportive mob there at ILF, which is great. Most of them speak English only, but there's a few Indigenous mob who would like to learn their own languages. So they're looking into where they come from and trying to find words there. And we're trying to incorporate in it, like in our hello, like even though there's no hello formally for Indigenous languages, but there's sort of like a greeting. So we try and use those in our emails to get our other Australian workers and non-Australian workers, you know, but they're Australian, but they speak other languages. Just sort of aware of the languages for hello, goodbye, or you know, different words here and there, and they're pretty respectful. And some are trying to use them as well, which is cool. But even just to go, if you work, say down wherever, just find out what land you're sitting on, you know, just as awareness, and then, you know, get used to saying that word properly, you know, pronouncing words properly and stuff like that. So they're really open to that.